the Kinderhook Blob. In 1960s New York, no fewer than 6 witnesses encountered a floating, mysterious blob-like creature that was so terrifying 2 armed men fled from it in terror. Stories of this creature began in Kinderhook, New York. The first report from 1962 comes a 10-year-old boy at the time, his 7-year-old cousin. The rest are from people who happened to be in the woods several years after, including one encounter such as recent as 2017. According to Hollenbeck, he and his cousins were walking in the woods when they saw the creature. When I was 10 in 1962, I was up in the woods behind our house with my cousin, who was then age 7. We both heard this really high-pitched whistle noise. They looked for the source of the sound, and Hollenbeck described a white object peering at me from behind a nearby pine tree. He later clarified the statement that I say peering, but in fact had no eyes that I could see. 2 chased children hastily ran back to Hollenbeck's parents' home. For 2 years, it was all quiet, but an unnamed man hiking through the woods saw a big white blob floating towards him. It terrified him so much that he jumped over a pond measuring 6 feet across, and he eventually mustered up the courage to return to the scene with his once skeptical friend, armed with shovels and pitchforks. Ready to confront the beast, the friend suddenly turned white as a sheet as he suddenly pointed ahead to the white sheep, which was hovering through the trees. They both lacked courage, dropped their weapons, and ran away. Some say that the third encounter was in 1964, others in 1978. Regardless, this running with the beast was Barry Scott and Russell Lee, who were both 14 at the time. According to them, the first sighting was something that was unordinary, tramping outside the tent. How could it both float and tramp is also a mystery. He peeked outside the tent and saw an entity almost identical to the other reports. At the time, it looked more like a ghost than a typical blob. Both agreed it floated more than it walked, but Barry described it as bell-shaped and Russell as the Virgin Mary. The most recent encounter was in 2017 when town locals Owen Farley and Anthony Molowski witnessed the blob on a late-night walk. According to them, before the sighting, the temperature dropped. There was a loud, high-pitched screech. The figure, described as a white blob around 7 feet tall, appeared in the woods and floated towards them at a high speed, causing the 2 to run away.